All right, welcome to the World Strong. Um, Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Uh, hey, we started filming. Morning. Welcome to the World's Strongest Baker. This is episode 4. I am Ryan, the World's Strongest Baker, because nobody told me I'm not. Morning coffee. Black morning coffee. All right, so recently my wife and I went to Barnes & Noble, lovely bookstore, and bought four new baking cookbooks, mostly for me to do these videos. But we are using one of them today. It is a cookie Bible by Rose Levy Berenbaum. The way she wrote these out is super helpful, easy to follow instructions, great tips. Today we are making her recipe for pecan tassies. I've never made these before, hence why we're doing the video. My mind, they are mini pecan pies, and I love me a good pecan pie. We are not adding bourbon, but we are making them in our mini cupcake tins. So the recipe does call for 64 mini tartlet or brioche pans. I'm not going out and buying 64 mini tartlet or brioche pans. Sorry, Rose Levy Berenbaum. So it says you need to have an inch base. These have an inch base, so that's what we're going to use. Use what you have. Don't go spend a bunch of money for one recipe. But first thing we're going to do is make our dough. Then we're going to make our pecan filling. Then we're going to bake them. And then I'm going to eat because that's what I do. All right, well, we have our food processor here and we are dumping in our flour. If you'd like to know how much, buy the book. And sorry for the autofocus. Camera likes to do that on its own. We got a little pinch of salt going in there with even more autofocus. Now we get to put on our lid. We are going to pulse this 2 to 3 times just to combine the flour and the salt. Ooh, nice and smoky. All right, now we are going to add in our cubed butter. There we go. Did such a pretty job with that. Ooh, and now our cubed cream cheese, full fat, because it tastes better. Now that we have those two in there, we are going to put the lid back on. Probably should have tapped the sides. There we go. Good job, Ryan. Lid back on, and it would be noisy, but I turned off the volume. And I tried to break the food processor. But you want to grind it down into a nice little mealy looking thing. And autofocus again. There we go. That looks mealy to me. Now the next fun part. So you're supposed to do this in a Ziploc bag. I didn't have one. I didn't want to go buy any. So I was like, you know what? I can do this on a piece of parchment paper. And yet I can't even control the parchment paper. But once I think I outsmarted it, I didn't. And now I'm just going to dump this very sandy texture mixture, how do you say that? Mixture on there, and I'm going to attempt to fold. This is sped up, and I'm doing this the wrong way, so you know how to do it the correct way. This 100% the wrong way. Should have dumped it into a Ziploc bag. But hindsight is what they call 2020. But just gonna press the dough in together. It's flour, salt, butter, and cream cheese. You would think it would go together better. But I forced a small little bowl, and then I had a brilliant, stupid idea. Let's put my little ball of dough that wants to fall apart inside plastic wrap and form it that way. And look, it already broke apart. 10 points for Gryffindor. Now, I don't know what I was trying to do here. Something not smart. So, just picked it up and smushed it into a ball. And hey, we got our ball. Alright, now that we have our dough ball, we are going to make the shells. This was the most difficult part of this entire bake. I sped this up because there was a lot of breaks. The dough got warm, so I had to keep refrigerating it. And then I realized I messed up. Okay, so issue I ran in with. Originally, I made everything into small balls like this, but when I tried to do the shell, pressing it down, it barely covered half of it. So what I'm actually doing is combining both of them. This is 100% my fault. I thought these were an inch in the bottom. Turns out they're an inch and a half. So we're gonna use this size instead of this size and see what happens. Oh, luckily all I gotta do is just squeeze them together, roll it into a ball, boom. So we're gonna flatten the rest of these out. Then we gotta get them in the fridge. I do have more, so I can make extras. We're not gonna have 64. That's okay though. We're just gonna keep going. All right, time to form our shells. So the book says to use the knuckle of your index finger, put an indentation, then use your finger to work it around the sides of the tins, which I did. Now this also took a long time because the dough got warm. I have very warm hands, which is great, except when you're working with dough. So speeding this up, you get the gist. You want to make sure the entire inside is covered. You don't want to have any cracks or holes, because if any of the filling leaks out, it's going to stick into the tin and it's a mess to try and get out. But there we go. Time to pop them in the fridge. Okay, so we just got our dough finished in the tins, put it in the fridge to chill while we make the filling. Now, the dough will get sticky. If that happens, just pop it in the fridge, not a problem. I actually had to go bigger on these, so we'll see if that affects the timing of the bake when I get to it or anything like that. But for now, we're gonna let that chill and we're gonna get working on this filling. Here we go. All right, now we're going to get started on our filling. First, we're going to combine an egg and some vanilla in a glass measuring cup thingy. And then we're going to whisk it together. Now, you are actually supposed to do this 15 to 30 minutes before you make the filling, according to the book. So I did it when I had to chill the dough one time. And then you are going to cover it in plastic wrap and leave it on the counter. Following the rules here. Following the rules. Next, the thrilling job of watching butter melt. That is so exciting. All right, once you get down to little piece, you can use the residual heat, swirl around, and it melts the rest. Then we get to chop our nuts. We are making pecan tassies, so guess what we're using? We're using pecans. And if you have an issue with how I hold the knife while I'm chopping my nuts, go ahead and keep that to yourself. I do what I want. Coarsely chopped nuts, there we go. And now we're going to combine everything. First, you want to get all that egg mixture out of that measuring cup into a bowl. Then you are going to add your butter. If you do the butter early enough, it'll be cold, so you don't have to worry about it scrambling the eggs. I did not have that issue, thankfully. A little stir just to make sure. All right, next up, come on. There we go, put that aside, and then we get to grab our brown sugar, because brown sugar is essential in a pecan pie. Almost like bourbon, but we didn't do bourbon. Then we added our golden syrup. This is my first time working with actual golden syrup, so now I have the big thing of it. Pinch of salt, because it said to, and then whisk. Whisk like crazy. Right, get it. Alright, I think you might be having too much fun with this. Around the outside through the middle. Yeah, we know. God, there's a lot of whisking. And then a little tap tap. All right, then we're going to throw our nuts in there and mix them up. I like to make sure they're well combined. Well combined nuts are better than dried nuts. All right, you're having too much fun doing that, bro. Come on. All right, there we go. All right, final step before the bake. Let's see how these turn out. All we gotta do is use our little scoop, and fill each shell. I filled them all the way up. I was worried it might overflow, but it did not. So, and no, I'm not gonna make you watch me fill each and every cup because I went back and changed it. Can't have you getting bored. You'll never watch another video. And there we go. We have them filled, getting ready for the oven. All right, guys, we just got our pecan tassies in the oven. So 350. She actually gives a temperature for Celsius and Fahrenheit. Thank you very much. So 10 minutes facing one way. Then you're gonna flip the tray 8 to 10 minutes the other way. That is for the normal size. I made them bigger by accident because I didn't measure. I assumed. Measure. Baking is all about precision. But other than that, it already smells really good in here. So I'm very excited for these to come out. So we have 2 batches. I only was able to make 30 out of the 64 I was supposed to be able to make. So yeah, definitely wrong size tins. But they're still gonna be delicious if I don't screw up. And we'll see if I do when they come out. Okay, so the pan is cool enough to touch now with our hands. Oh, it's been a couple minutes, 10 minutes I think, since they came out. So we're gonna try and unmold these. This is always the fun part. I could have probably put like a little piece of parchment in each one, but that was a lot of extra work and I didn't want to do it. In the book, she says if you need to loosen it, use a long, thin sewing needle. I'm gonna use a knife. So let's just go around the edge real quick. I am worried that these are really, really crumbly. And oh, look at that! Ah! Oh yeah, yeah. So, Rose, you thought of everything. And that just looks magical. Can't wait to eat them. That is the end of episode 4. We made pecan tassies. Pecan tassies, call them what you want. They're delicious. Because I've already had one. Can't help myself, guys. I'm sorry. The Cookie Bible, Rose Levy Berenbaum, is incredible. I highly recommend it. Go buy it. Make all these recipes. It is very, very detailed. Take your time, read through it. It might seem a little over the top at first, but trust me, she knows what she's talking about. So, oh yeah, we have a bunch of pecan tassies. Not as many as we could have had, but I'm kind of happy about that because I don't want to eat them all. So, I'm gonna pick them up. Second batch, I only had 6 on the tray, so they got a little bit more golden brown and delicious. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and snack on this. Oh, that's so damn good. Pardon my French. All right. It's like a flaky, sandy crust, which is incredible. It has such a great flavor to it. You get all the goo underneath the top layer of pecans, whatever we're calling them. I don't even care anymore. I'm in heaven right now with this. Woo! That'll wake up your taste buds in a half. All right. So, oh my God, that flavor. Whew. Y'all need to make this. Go buy this book and make this. Come on. Woo! I can't even finish this recording. All right. Another success, another pass. We might eventually fail, but we're not afraid to, except when we have to eat the failure. Because yes, I'm going to eat it or try it. Hopefully it's not fish or something disgusting like that. But these cats like to run around whenever I'm recording. But it's adorable, so I'm going to keep it in. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this. You all have a wonderful weekend. It's my birthday weekend, so I'm going to party. But check out the book at the link in the description below. Make these. Tell your friends. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And comment if you got something to say. Just be nice about it. I'm going to enjoy this. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you in the kitchen.